Have you ever seen a cryptid?
I haven't seen any cryptids, but I've seen some really weird shit. So, like, back in Pawnee, I saw these, like, floating orbs. They're, like, maybe about the size of a cantaloupe. Or at least that's what it looks like from far off. And they're just kind of floating there. Like, you could kind of see them, like, all off in the distance, like, floating above the grass. Just kind of, like, you know, they're not zigzagging around or anything. Just very slow, just kind of drifting.
You know, they had something like that in Joplin, Missouri, too.
No shit.
I knew some people who lived there who told me about it, but, like, I don't know. There were all these stories about, like, you know, this one road, and that's where the weird, like, orb lights would show up, and they'd, like, chase people and shit.
Yeah, these ones would chase people, too.
Really?
Yeah, it's just fucking... I'd never heard of them catching anyone, but they would just kind of drift towards people all slow and spooky like.
Whoa.
Yeah, that shit was wild. So I mean, there's like other wild shit that you hear about, like, oh man, there's that highway. I can't remember what the highway is right offhand, but it's in between Ponca City and Pawnee, Oklahoma, and it's got like all of these hills. And so whenever you're driving the speed limit, I think it's like 55 or 60. So you're driving down the speed limit, and the distance the hills are apart, it gives you that weird roller coaster, like kind of like motion feeling. So whenever you're going down the hill, you kind of feel that tickle in your taint, you know? You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
So you get that weird tickle, but like you just keep kind of going up and down, and it just keeps happening over and over and over again. And you never really quite get used to it. It just feels fucking weird. But there's like this legend of like someone that was like hitchhiking. It was like this Indian woman, and people would see her hitchhiking on the side of this highway. So they were like, "Oh man, let's go pick her up." So someone would pick her up, and they would just keep driving. And the legend is that like whoever was driving the car would just kind of have that sensation of going up and down those hills over and over and over again, actually forever. And their spirits just kind of stuck going up and down those hills. And then the next day they find that car like off in the ditch and the driver dead, but no hitchhiker.
Wait, how could the driver have the weird taint feeling forever, but also like die right after that happens?
Because their spirit is stuck with the taint feelings, you know, like for eternity, going up and down that highway, but their body's dead in the ditch.
Wouldn't that fucking suck to be dead and just have like a tickly taint for eternity?
Yeah, you just kind of get used to it.
Dude.
But there's a lot of weird shit that happens like in that whole fucking area. I know that I've told you about that that story about Deer Lady.
We don't gotta talk about her.
We don't have to talk about her. But
I don't think we should be talking about her right before bed.
You're probably right. Talking about it actually kind of spooked me out a little bit, and now my nipples are all hard.
That's just because you got a thing for her.
Oh, whatever. No, not even.
Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx. Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx, Sumo Punx.
I am neither Matt nor Sabrina. I am more powerful than both. I am Sumo Punx.
Ah! Forgot my tractor. Ah!
It's over 9,000. Oh, there goes Krillin.
Welcome back. Hey. So we've been gone for a little while. I don't think we've done an episode for a couple of 3 weeks.
2-3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
It's been some time.
It's been a little while, but
time has passed.
We've still been working on some pretty big things in that time.
Big things.
Things that I think you guys are really going to enjoy.
We've had our fingers in some pies.
Yep.
Big fingers.
Now it's just starting to sound weird. Which is probably the reason a lot of people listen to this podcast.
We nasty.
anyway, yeah, like I said, we've been gone for a little while, but now we're back, and we've been working on some really fucking cool shit that I hope you guys are really going to like. One of those things is what this episode is about. We have a new series of interviews that we're going to be releasing over several episodes, where we talk to people from across the country who have started their own sumo club.
One of the things that I've always really liked about amateur sumo and DIY punk is that strong sense of DIY ethics. There's not a whole lot of infrastructure in amateur sumo, well, compared to like football or soccer or something like that.
Or pro sumo.
Or pro sumo. But so there is a strong DIY ethic in amateur sumo, and I think that between punk and amateur sumo, there's a lot that could be shared, a lot that they could learn from each other.
Yeah, so hopefully we're going to inspire people with these interviews to start their own sumo clubs by sharing the stories of folks who've already been there and done that, share the trials and tribulations and triumphs.
All of that inspirational sports movie stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna play Eye of the Tiger or some shit. I don't know. I've never watched a sports movie in my whole fucking life, except I, Tonya. That shit was fucking cool.
Oh fuck yeah!
So the first episode in the series, this episode, we interviewed Mr. Marky Naas.
Marky Naas
of Appalachian Sumo Club.
The master of mullitude.
Yes, with his proud and prominent facial pelt.
And he has this this Facebook photo. It's just a very regal photo with his chest hair.
Oh, the one where he's got like his shirt splayed open, and it's from that kind of like down angle.
He is an 80s rock god.
He has this sense of style that is just so fucking super cool.
It's him. He's definitely one of our people.
Oh, for sure. For fucking sure, dude. He's also got that Mothman logo t-shirt.
Yes.
So the Appalachian Sumo Club's logo is Mothman, which is this cryptid from the Appalachian area.
Wearing like a Yokozuna belt.
Yes. And it's just the coolest fucking thing. I don't know. I'm into weird shit like Mothmans and Bigfootses
And that actually is the most visually striking shirt in amateur sumo. It really is.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking cool, and I'm gonna get one as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So the Appalachian Sumo Club, just like it sounds like, covers a region in the Appalachian area, roughly covering parts of Pennsylvania, West Virginia, a few other places. Marky talks about it in the interview a bit. I actually, both sides of my family have roots there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, on my mom's side, they're all like hillbillies from fucking Virginia and Kentucky and Tennessee and stuff. But then on my dad's side, they were Italian immigrants who actually settled in the Pittsburgh area. I think they were like fleeing like fascist Italy when
when
Mussolini became but anyway, my grandfather worked in the steel mills there in Pittsburgh. He was a very proud Union man. And there's a lot of history around all of that stuff. I mean, honestly, sometimes, I don't know how many people know this story, but sometimes I even fantasize about having a Blair Mountain rematch.
Send those coal bosses running.
Yeah. Maybe the Appalachian Sumo Club people would like to back my dumb ass up on that so I don't get myself killed. But anyway, Marky himself is actually from the Pittsburgh area, and the Appalachian Sumo Club members just seem to be some really fucking cool people. They seem to have like a real sense of camaraderie. Yes, thank you. Real sense of camaraderie. I know he had talked a bit about how they're connected to the local strongman community.
Yeah, strongman.
Which is so fucking cool. We've
I
watched
like
a lot of
strongmen,
those videos on YouTube. The strongman videos with
think-
Eddie, what's his face, and
I think there needs to be more strongmen in sumo. That'd be fucking cool.
that would be fucking cool. There's like a lot of potential for crossover there.
Definitely.
Yeah, so I'm super glad to see that they have those connections and can hopefully like strengthen the bond between those two communities. Those folks are they're so fucking cool up there in the Appalachian region. But I don't know. I think we've gushed enough about how cool Marky and his folks are. Let's go ahead and let you guys hear it for yourself.
All right, here's the interview.
All right.
Let's rock.
All right.
Hell yeah. Who do we got with us today?
Marky Naas, I am the president of the Appalachian Sumo Club. We're kind of a bit of a mishmash. Wow, that word's difficult. Mishmash. I'm based in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. My vice president, John Mauser, is actually based in Morgantown, West Virginia. And we're kind of like a triumvirate, all bringing as many people around the area as we can. And we all meet typically here in PA, but we do go down to West Virginia. We got plans to visit a couple of our friends down in Maryland. Yeah.
Nice. You guys have like the coolest logo.
Yeah.
I have a specific affinity, some people might call it a fetish, for things that go bump in the night, and Mothman is one of those things. So I really appreciate that you decided to go with that whole theme for your logo there.
Yeah, I love that. And that, like, seriously, the best shirt in amateur sumo.
Yeah, for real.
Well,
Actually, we'll talk later because I want one of those.
I appreciate that. Coming up with Mothman, it just kind of clicked for me. I wanted to do something that represented the Appalachian region. And we thought of possums, we thought of snakes.
Hillbillies.
At one point, I thought about the striking miners of Blair Mountain, and then I realized that's not a super great.
Dude.
That's not a super great mascot, so I went with Point Pleasant's own Mothman.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Oh, I heard on a Grand Sumo Breakdown, you talking about the Mothman Festival. Did you guys ever... my timeline is all jacked up. Was that supposed to be this year, or was that last year? Or
It would be September this year. I'm still waiting for them to get back to me. I'm going to follow up with them soon. And hopefully I can get our club down there for a demo, or hopefully a small tournament for the Mothman Festival.
That would be
Dude,
badass.
we should totally try to make it out to that, because that's like two things that are just so fucking us.
Yeah, sumo and Mothman.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell
Yeah, well, she's got a
Hey, we don't need
fetish,
to. We don't need to talk about that.
Some people just really want that moth mussy.
Oh man, where is that town where there's that statue, that like big metal statue of Mothman?
That is Point Pleasant, West Virginia, where
That's
the
Point
where the
Pleasant.
festival.
Okay, so we're gonna
Nice.
have to go to Point Pleasant so I can like rub the Mothman statue's nipples or something.
I have a bunch of friends who have pictures of them Slav squatting with Mothman's ass.
Fuck
Oh,
yes.
hell yeah.
Sounds like my kind of people.
Seriously. So, whenever you, because we heard your origin story on some of the other, podcasts about just diving headfirst into the U.S. Sumo Open, but how did
And
you?
the whole ordeal with the travel and everything.
Oh yeah, your travel story. Like what was it for nationals? We were listening, like, Jesus, what's gonna go wrong next? It was just
The unluckiest traveler in American sumo.
But whenever you first started the Sumo Club, like, how did that all kind of come together?
So it originally started off, it would be me and John training together, John Mauser, one of the freakishly strongest men I've ever met. Little side story about him, because my brain moves in 100 directions at once.
That's
he
totally okay.
That's us.
Yeah.
He has a TikTok of his various attempts of feats of strength. In his most recent video, he presses a 107-pound kettlebell, and then while he has that in the air, he bends a horseshoe with his teeth.
What
Oh my
the
God.
fuck?
Okay, that is some freakish strength. That's Hulk style strength.
Oh my
Oh, yeah.
god.
That is badass.
That just made my jaw hurt.
I
just
know, me too.
listening
Kind
to
of making me
that.
salivate a bit. I'm like, oh man.
So we would train out of actually the strongman gym that he was training out of, Viking Performance, in West Virginia, in Morgantown, and we were training on this piece of turf for the sleds, right in the middle of the gym. It was kind of awkward, but we were there. We were putting the work in. We just had to, dodge people who were getting ready to rep fucking 700-pound deadlifts, and it was a little bit of a sideshow for a lot of the people there, but we generated a lot of interest. We had guys who, professional strongmen who were like, yeah, I'll try this. Let's go.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I've noticed like some of the older some of the because I watch a lot of strongman stuff on YouTube, but I noticed that a couple of them were actually doing sumo, like they were wearing mawashis, but in more of like a breechcloth kind of way. And I was like, that's not how you do that, but but I thought it was really cool. So like when you're training with strongmen, are they a little bit more agile? Like, do they have the balance down? Can they nail the movements?
Facing a lot of the strongmen that I faced in sumo, it's definitely a case of, yeah, you gotta scramble, you gotta keep quick feet. There are some of the more athletic and agile ones, but a lot of the guys who are pure strength, if they get the grip, if they get a preferred grip, it's a very hard fight to win. It's kind of funny. Me and John have faced each other so many times that every match we ever have now, because we know each other inside and out, we know our playbooks, every match goes 55, 60 seconds, and it gets to a point where it's like attrition.
Oh, shit. So, like whenever you fought somebody, and I've, that's something you always hear in martial arts, that, you really don't know someone until you fought them. But since you've, fought him so many times, is it kind of like more of like a mental game at that point, kind of like psych each other out and feints? Or?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll do our best to, as we're in the stare down, I'll stare directly into his eyes with the most uncharacteristic, like,
nice. Yeah, I've been trying to nail my scary face too. So I'm just trying not to cheese at my opponent too hard. Like, come on, let's wrestle.
Well, one time back in nationals, this was 2018 nationals, in Kansas City in the middle of winter, in what was possibly the fucking coldest place on earth I've ever been. This was back when Memphis's club was up and coming. I was in the novice division at that time. And I faced one of their guys, and I was still like super new and awkward. I didn't know what to do in the stare down. So I like smiled at this guy and he scoffed at me. And I was like, okay, motherfucker. All right. And then that ended with him with his back to the ring. And I kind of tripped over the edge of the ring, and then I fell on top of him, and I kind of felt bad about it. But...
well, that's what he gets.
It's still a win, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
That's awesome. How many people do you have in your club right now?
So right now, actively training, there's about 5 of us. We do have greater numbers than that. A lot of us are dads, family men, guys who kind of live on really weird schedules. So we do our best to get everyone together as we can. Typically the core group is about 5 of us.
Are you guys still at the Strongman gym, or did you kind of get your own facilities?
So right now, we took on some new people. Actually, the guy who is one of the 2 representatives of our club at the upcoming nationals, myself, thankfully to the thank you, Matt. And thank you to everyone who donated to my GoFundMe. I will be at Salt Lake City this year. And actually one of my training partners, Christopher Pierce, one of the most freakishly athletic people I've ever met. He's actually, he's doing 3 nationals in 6 days. He's also a world level Greco-Roman and freestyle wrestler.
Nice.
So he's going from Salt Lake City down to Vegas, where he's competing in 2 nationals there to try and go to Worlds.
Wow. That's hardcore. Dang. Like, I don't know if I could do 3 nationals. I don't even know if I could do 1.
So, Marky, what were some of the struggles that you had starting your own sumo club? What were some of the hurdles that you hadn't really foreseen going into this?
It would probably be every single person that I've reached out to asking all of the exact same questions, mostly around having to wear the mawashi. And me being like, if you call it a diaper again, I will physically assault you. But I'm saying it to friends, so I'm mostly joking.
We're not.
Mostly.
It's the diaper thing that gets us. It's just like, oh my god.
It's just, it seems so disrespectful, and also like, I mean, if you think of sumo as this traditional Japanese, I mean, it's the national sport of Japan, and all of the history that's gone along with it, it seems, kind of fucking racist too. So we're definitely not down with that.
No diapers.
And it's, just on a basic level, super disrespectful. So yeah, don't call it a diaper.
Yeah.
But you got a lot of questions about like whether or not they would have to wear the mawashi, or how did that go?
Yeah. And I will say that James Bond did sumo wrestlers no favors, because now people think I can mystically just tuck my balls up into my system whenever I'm putting the belt on. That's apparently a thing from a Bond movie that people reference a lot. But
are they getting confused with drag queens? Maybe. Not that I wouldn't love to see drag queen sumo wrestlers, but go on.
The pageantry would be off the charts.
Oh my god,
yes.
I know.
But also questions about, well, I mean, oh, you want to wrestle me? Mark, you're fucking twice my size. And I'm like, there's weight classes in amateur sumo. You're only going to get matched with someone who's heavier than you if you go into open weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I've managed to, I mean, we've got a couple lightweights in our club, despite what Justin Kizzert says, who's convinced that we're just a house of heavyweights.
He says hi, by the way. We saw him earlier.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah. But I remember one time, one time I sent him a picture. We had this grappling dummy that we put a mawashi on, and I was like, see, we have lightweights.
Oh, that's awesome.
Funny.
Do you train with that grappling dummy?
We do. Typically for that, if we have like matches going on, people will use it for like lift ups, force outs, kind of working on hip drive with it.
Because I kind of want one, but like I'm like 400 pounds, and like I was like, oh well, how much does that little dummy weigh? And I was thinking in my head, I mean, am I gonna just tie some barbells onto it or something? But
we actually one time me and John tried to tie a mawashi on an Atlas stone.
Oh shit.
That unfortunately, so there's a little bit of fabrication that would need to be done to make it work, but I mean, the DIY ethos, you gotta make it work.
Yeah, gotta be creative sometimes. So do you like to adhere to kind of more a traditional style keiko, or is it like way more modern, or do you do a blend of both? How do you typically go about that?
We typically keep it more modern. Before we start, I'll ask what people want to work on, what they feel like they want to address in training, and we kind of form the plan that day. Like I love Ohio. I love Ohio Sumo. I love all those guys. I was not built for their super traditional training style. I like to joke that you get 5 or 6 freebie concussions in your life. I'm sure I've cashed in a few of them. So
Shit.
Yeah, we'll save 100% for like the last 20-30 minutes of training. We typically don't, we're not iron against iron, as they say, until like the last end, when we're really sort of working on putting it all together.
So you guys kind of keep it like maybe like 70-80%, until like the very end, and it's
Yes.
So do you, whenever you're doing like your warm-ups and your stretches, do you do kind of like the shikos, matawari, or do you just kind of do like your own stretching? Or
we do shikos together, and then we'll do suriashi, we'll do movement drills together. Typically then from there we'll work on, we do a bit of hand fighting. We'll do drills where you start from a neutral position and you're trying to get double inside, like an attack versus defend sort of drill. One guy trying to set their grip, the other guy trying to hold them off.
So, do you like review any techniques, or do you?
Do you take video?
We do take video. One thing that I don't share with I don't share the same sentiment as everyone else. Like I love you guys down in Dallas. I don't understand the live streaming of training. I get it from a PR standpoint, and I mean you guys are absolutely killing it in PR down there. I like to keep a couple secrets in the deck, I guess.
I think it's because Corey's he's like a videographer,
Yeah.
something like that. So that's like his thing.
Yeah,
I think that's what really motivates him to do that.
he's very much into the multimedia aspect of the sumo club.
So is there anything outside of sumo or even outside of any sort of martial arts or even strongman or whatever that you feel is important to teach people when they come to your sumo club? Like anything maybe more mental or anything like that?
I I've had this conversation with a couple of my guys. I believe in being kind and professional to anyone you face, but definitely don't. I mean, we're here to compete against each other. We are testing our mettle against other people, but at the end, I mean, everyone's friends. We all hang out. We drink shitty beer together, and we're all friends. One thing I do love about this sport here in America, for the most part, I'll say, because there are some exceptions, everyone is awesome. Everyone is cool. Everyone's keeps it professional. No one's like a dick to anyone. Well, mostly no one's a dick to anyone, but yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah. I just try and keep in mind that, yeah, you're here to compete, but no one's your enemy. No one's, I get people who train with that sort of like warrior mindset. It's great when you're competing against strangers, but I mean, we're all friends. We're all homies.
That's kind of like what I have as well. Because being a warrior to me, in my culture is a little bit different, than like a kind of a Western thing. Like a warrior to me is somebody that kind of like provides and that protects, acts as a backbone in their community and, make sure the kids are, being brought up well. And so it's more of like a family community thing with being a warrior. And so to foster that community and family kind of feeling, I just try to be nice. I try not to be a dick, try not to hurt anybody too bad, but
Absolutely.
this is a combat sport, we are kind of beating the shit out of each other, but I don't want to like overtly beat the shit out of anyone.
Absolutely. And yeah, I can dig that. Absolutely.
Yeah, and like combat sports in general tend to attract those really like, for lack of a better term, very testosterone driven sort of dudes that are like can be kind of toxic, and that's something that I've noticed about sumo as well, is there's a notable lack of people like that, from at least what I've experienced so far in the people that I've met that have been in the sumo world. I know that there are definitely people out there like that, because I've heard stories, but you get a lot more open-minded people in sumo.
Yeah, what was it? Justin Kizzard was saying that they bring that small dick energy. But yeah, that's something that I've really noticed and really liked too, because in a lot of other martial arts that I've tried over the years, there's always those guys, the gym bullies, just trying to, everything that you do is wrong, and they just have to take it upon themselves to show you, but they're not really teaching you. They're just trying to show you that they know more than you or something. I don't know. But I have yet to experience that in sumo, which I really like. So.
I did want to ask you, do you have any experience with any other martial arts or combat sports or anything like that?
Well, younger Mark, much more optimistic and fresh-faced, dreamed of being a professional wrestler, and then learned that no one has need for a 5'3" super heavyweight. But outside of that, I come traditionally from more team sports. I played rugby in high school, played for 3 years, played hockey after high school.
Nice.
I've always kind of been dive 2 feet first into anything I try. Some things stick, some things don't. I didn't have the cardio to keep up with those sports, and honestly, I love sumo. I've always loved sumo, and it was a match. It was an absolute match made in heaven.
So what kind of got you watching the pro sumo?
So I remember seeing pro sumo as a really young guy, seeing highlights of Akibono on ESPN, and
Hell yeah.
that's how it all began.
Yeah, whenever I was younger, I used to hang out with like my buddy the Caribou, and we used to like chug whiskey. And like 3 or 4 in the morning, you know, you'd see the Polish or Russian amateur sumo teams. They would like play that on ESPN 8 or something. Yeah, that's how I kind of got it. I was like, oh wow, I didn't know people did sumo outside of Japan, and then like I just kind of forgot about it until and this is kind of an overlap I have with a lot of other people I talk to, but that anime Hinomaru Sumo, you know, any type of fucking shonen anime, you know, they make everything that they're into just seem so cool, and you gotta try it, and they're so passionate about it, and I was like, yeah, I'm doing this. So
Oh hell yeah. Speaking of sumo and anime, I can recall Atlanta 2018, the Georgia Sumo Open. I just remember it was me, Cornelius, couple of other friends, Darius, and actually one of our friends, Caesar, from up in Rhode Island. Caesar made Chanko for us, and then we sat around. This was actually, I think this was when Hinamaru was just airing, but we actually watched an earlier series called Rowdy Sumo Wrestler Matsutaru.
Yes.
And that was such a cool group bonding experience.
That's such a cool anime. I like that. We're actually gonna start watching a few of those, and
we're gonna do an episode specifically on sumo anime.
Yeah,
excellent.
We're nerds.
Hell yeah! So we did talk a little bit about some of the more toxic types of people who are into various combat sports and whatnot. Has there been anyone who's shown up for sumo practice at your sumo club who you've just looked at him and been like, oh, this person is not right for sumo?
It's happened once or twice. Typically I take them aside, kind of explain more of how sumo is. One of them became one of my favorite people to train with, and because kind of once you get someone to reel it in, they really can more focus on what they're doing. And yeah, he became a great training partner and competitor.
That actually goes into my next question, which was, has there been anybody who's shown up for sumo practice and the first time you just thought, oh, this person is destined for sumo?
My teammate Chris. He's strong, he's fast. He somehow has the wingspan of a bald eagle while only being like 4 or 5 inches taller than me. He's a great competitor, and he has such a head for combat that I think he's going to do great. This will be his first tournament in the USSF.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm so jealous of those that just have that natural combat affinity, you know.
Oh, yeah.
So what is recruitment typically like? Do you go out and actually like actively recruit, or do you just wait for people to come to you? Do you look at people in public and think to yourself, you know, imagine what they'd look like in a mawashi or anything like that?
I typically let people come to us. And typically a lot of our recruits that we've had come in have been people who trained with us, who have brought other people in to try it. I will say the shirt is an absolutely great eye catch. And then they see Sumo Club, what the hell? And then, yeah, I've recruited people just based on a fucking cool t-shirt. And I think that's pretty sweet.
Nice.
That is awesome. And it is seriously the most eye-catching shirt. And I'm so jealous of Corey Morrison because he has one and I don't.
I got the shirt up on Pro Wrestling Tees. They go up to a 5XL on the website.
Fuck yeah, dude. We just got paid too. Fuck yeah.
I believe they're doing a weekend 20% off. I could find you a coupon code.
Nice. Thanks, dude.
Hell yeah.
Well, what's the what's the public perception like besides thinking that the t-shirts are cool? Do you guys put on events for the public, or what are some of the reactions that you typically get?
So we've actually been planning. We've been planning a community event. We haven't gotten it off the ground yet, but we are also kind of brainstorming different fundraising things to do. One thing that came up, and we've started calling the mawashi karwashi,
Nice.
to get all of us to belt up and wash cars to make money to get a ring.
That is a great idea. Holy crap.
That is a super cool idea. Oh my gosh. Because Dallas Sumo Club has been trying to raise money for a doyo too.
Yeah, we're trying to get a doyo, and so far we got the t-shirt game, but man, the car washi mawashi. What did you call it? What did you call it?
Mawashi karwashi.
Oh my god, that's brilliant.
Which I would patent if I could afford a patent attorney. I'm watching all you other clubs out there.
No, y'all are gonna have to come up with some, like, at the Dallas Sumo Club, some equivalent, like, really creative thing like that. Because they already got the car wash
The car washi
angle
mawashi.
covered. Well, have you ever gotten any sort of, like, really weird reactions from people, or, like, maybe kind of just really off the wall and notable?
There's a whole tangent I can go off about this.
Feel free.
All right, so being visibly hefty on the internet, it can attract some weird people. Matt, I haven't talked to you about it, but I imagine you go through the same thing as I do.
I do.
Literally in group chats, we anytime one of us gets hit up by one of these people, not that I ever want to use the term "these people." Jesus,
No, I know what you mean. I know what you mean though, because
we're like, "Is this guy weird?" And then other people will be like, "Yeah, he's messaged me. Yeah, he's messaged me." And fat chasers are weird people, and that's
I got a stable.
It's an unfortunate high amount of engagement that we get with the social media, but it's ultimately the wrong kind of engagement.
Yeah, I have so many weird mixed feelings about that. First, I like knowing that I'm sexy sometimes. That's kind of cool. But then again, it's just like, sometimes, someone will be like, and I got the message from someone, "Hey, that's a good arm." It was a Watanabe video I just posted of myself, and he was, "Oh, yeah, that's a good arm, oh, you got a good body, nice arm, penis." I was like, "What?" Send me another message, penis. And I'm like, dude.
You think someone's just trying to be friendly, and then they're like, "Show me your dick."
It's like, but it just happens all the time, and it's like, I really don't know how to feel about it. Like I said, I like feeling sexy, but it's like, come on, man. Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's definitely a happy medium between, hey, I find you attractive. Hey, that's cool. Don't make it fucking weird.
Right. Exactly.
But yeah, I got a lot of those.
Unsolicited dick pics. No, like, weird conversation. Just, talk to each other like you're normal human beings. And if you find someone attractive, then you can say that. And then if they're not receptive to it, just fucking move on. I mean, as a woman, I know what you guys are going through with that. Like, I feel your pain. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of those. It's, good for them. That's all I could leave it as. I don't want to hate on them or anything or make anyone feel bad about who they find attractive, but at the same time, I feel self-conscious about it sometimes.
But the ones that are super aggressive about it can seriously fuck off.
Yeah.
For real.
Yeah. I have friends who I know it's painfully obvious. They're like, "You should pose more pictures in your belt." And I'm just like, we're cool and all, but don't make it fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
Flattered, not interested is a common term that I have to use.
That is a great way to put it, because at a certain point, you do kind of just start to feel objectified.
Yeah. So whenever you guys do your Keikos, and I totally remembered what I was going to ask. So I just kind of wanted to circle back to the whole, the traditional versus the modern thing. Are you all familiar with the belt system? like doing belt tests and all that?
I don't want to say anything controversial, but I think the belt system's kind of blasé, or
Yeah.
I don't even know if I'm using that word right. I think it's dumb. I no disrespect to anyone who goes through it, who does it, who is dedicated to it, but I don't know.
It's just not for you.
That's kind of how I felt about it.
It's not my type of hype, and it's not something that it seems like a lot of my guys are receptive to. So
I feel like I would get more technique and more. I think just more combat experience, would kind of sharpen you into a more sharp blade rather than, just. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I like the academic study of sumo, the history, and some of the etymology of where the technique names come from. I think that's really cool. But man, I already put my time in school. Damn it.
Yeah. So was there anyone who kind of helped you along, helping you kind of construct how you do your keikos, or teaching you how to conduct them or anything like that? Did you just watch YouTube videos? Did you have a mentor? How did you decide to start teaching people how to do sumo? Did somebody teach you, or how did that happen?
It all comes down to my first friend, first teacher, first mentor. The first guy who ever hit me up about sumo when I started posting about going to the open. I could never put him over enough. Cornelius Booker,
Oh hell yeah,
the heart and soul of this organization, as I call him. He's taught me a lot that I know. A lot of his programming. He came up from Florida to Cincinnati, Ohio, and we had a little camp. It was me, him, it was Darius, it was John Mauser, and we had our friend Jason Sowards, who is another member of the club. We all trained together at a gym in Cincinnati together, and I learned a lot of programming, a lot of sort of putting it all together from him.
Hell yeah. Yeah, he really is very nice, very knowledgeable dude, and I love just how personable he is,
Absolutely.
Yeah, he reached out to me because I've been going through some shit, with my family, some of that crazy medical stuff, and he just kind of hit me up like, hey, I haven't seen you around in any events. Are you doing all right? And I'm like, oh, that's just a good-hearted dude, just a good-hearted dude.
Absolute king behavior.
Yeah. If anyone else that's listening to this is going to start their own sumo club, what kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say be amenable, be open to. You may have a vision of what you want to do. Sometimes reality happens, reality kicks in, and I say just be open to a change in the environment, a change in maybe how you think it's going to lay out.
Be like water.
Be like water.
Yeah.
Thank you, Bruce.
That's awesome. That's really good advice, actually. Oh, yeah. That's, advice that I try to follow in my everyday life. So,
especially being as I am, sometimes I'm like, things have to be my way and I have to control them, and I really have to.
That's that Capricorn energy coming out.
I have to make sure that I could kind of go with the flow as well, and.
Yeah, that's great advice.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much it. I think that's a good place to wrap it up. What do you think?
Yeah.
Marky Naas, did you have Mark Nasty, if I can call you that? Did you have anything else that you wanted to share with us, or anything else you wanted to say? Any shout outs? Did you want to give us your social media deets, or?
If you ever want to follow the club's exploits, we are Appalachian Sumo Club, Instagram, Facebook. We have a website. If you ever want to follow my exploits, which are way dumber, Big Marky Crash, Instagram, Marky Naas on Facebook. I stream video games every now and then. That's just kind of it can be soul crushing when you're first starting out and you're trying to hold a conversation by yourself with 0 to 1 viewers. And the one viewer never says anything. But yeah, I have fun with that. But if you're interested in the t-shirt, Pro Wrestling Tees, if you search Mothman Sumo, you can find it.
Nice.
Hit me up for a coupon code if you ever need it. I'm sure I could find them. And yeah, I really do thank both of you for letting me to come on here and talk about the sport that I love and getting to getting to chat.
Yeah, honestly, it was we were talking on Facebook Messenger like a while ago, and you kind of like sparked this whole thing of us wanting to talk to all the people that started the sumo clubs. You're like really nailing down the DIY ethos, and I was like, holy shit, he's right.
Yeah. Yeah, we think you're cool as hell, bro, and
Yeah.
hopefully we get to talk a lot more in the future.
Hopefully, we'll get to meet in person too.
Fuck yeah!
I want to wrestle you.
I want to go to that Mothman Festival or whatever the hell it was.
Hell yeah.
Fuck yeah! I'm marking the calendar right now.
Kind of funny. Me and Caleb Backus have this ongoing thing where we'll be at tournaments together, but somehow every single time we're on opposite ends of the bracket and never meet. And
Aw.
so after every tournament where we don't meet each other in the ring, I'll get you next time.
Inspector Gadget style.
All right,
well, thank you.
dude.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
Thank you so
you.
much. And we'll definitely hit each other back up again. I actually just added you on Facebook yesterday. I'm the one with the name with the weird umlauts and shit in it. So
I had an inkling, but I didn't want to assume.
All right. Well, that's all for now. We'll talk to you later. Thanks,
Appreciate
bro.
you.
Thank you all. Take care.
Well, hot damn. That Marky sure is a cool dude, isn't
Fuck
he?
yeah. I'm so glad we
yeah.
got to like start off this whole series of interviews with like some of the nicest folks like ever. And Marky is seriously one of the nicest human beings I've encountered ever.
He seems like super down to earth. I had a great time during the interview.
Hell yeah. He's definitely our kind of people.
Yes, I can't wait to try to get up there to see him at the
Mothman Festival
Yeah, hopefully they're going to be able to
September.
actually do that.
Hell yeah.
Yep, this upcoming September. And I did actually look up the Mothman statue after we were done recording the interview. Turns out, no nipples.
Well, we could just do a bust a Slav squat by his ass.
I guess that's the tradition, right?
Slav squat ass pick. Yep, that's what we're doing.
Fuck yeah.
But you could see Mr. Marky Naas at the FitCon Salt Lake City Sumo Nationals. That is Saturday,
Yes.
April the 23rd at 10 a.m. And that's just probably a few days after this episode's going to drop.
Yeah, I think I'll put it out Monday or Tuesday.
So if you're anywhere within driving or flying distance, it's at the Sail Palace Convention Center, 100 Southwest Temple Street, Salt Lake City, Utah, 84101.
Fuck it, hitchhike.
Fuck it.
And if you're in
Hop a
jail,
train.
break out. Yeah, hop a train. All right, that's our show.
You want to talk shit to us? Find us on Twitter at Punk Sumo. Everywhere else, Sumo Punx.
Yeah, and remember, you don't have to talk to do sumo, but it doesn't hurt.
We'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye.